I saw a picture. You wore a top hat.
Yeah, tuxedo too. And that was rented from the famous people in London. I won't mention the name. I don't have a top hat. Never wore a top hat in my life. So I go to this place. Anyway, I didn't know who was going to present this MBE to me. And in fact, there were 150 people there from all walks of life, and not one of them knew who was on duty. So until one man came around with a long rod, like he was the Pope, and he said, "Pam, pam, pam. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you must do when you come face to face with Her Majesty the Queen." That was the only time.
It was the Queen.
Yeah, that was the Queen. So I was really very happy that it was her.
And you went also, I think, to Government House to get your local award, huh?
I have never been to Government House, so when I got this
You're
award...
You're 84 years old, you've lived here all your life, have you never been to Government House?
Well, I'm a nobody in the eyes of
You're not a nobody. You're Uncle Ray.
Well, not in the eyes of the senior government staff, government people, So, well, even in the MBE,
when was the first time you went into Government House, when you got your award? Was that last year?
October.
It was just recently, a few months
ago. October 1st, right? Which is National Day,
How would you compare Government House to Buckingham Palace?
Well, I'll tell you a little secret. When I was in Buckingham Palace, I was so fascinated that I went to the gents' room, and started to take souvenirs.
Souvenirs. I think they expect people to do
I think so too, yes. But the Buckingham Palace is such an old-fashioned building, but the toilet is brand new, all up-to-date equipment in there. So it was a big change.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna, I've got a few minutes left, and I wanted to ask you this. I mean, we've talked about when you started, how you started as a DJ, and you're still, you're going on strong, Mondays to Fridays, on air. You finish at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're 84 years old. People your age will say, "I've done it all. It's time now to hang up my hat, hang up my boots, and look after yourself." Why aren't you doing that? Do you still enjoy going into the studio and spinning not spinning records, playing songs? They don't do that anymore.
Well, Michael, I've been asked by many reporters, I always give them an answer. Say there are two places I would like to die. One is in my bed at home, and the other one is in the studio. And the next day, it appeared in the Chinese papers, big headlines, Uncle Ray would like to die in the studio.
I think that was meant as
it was meant as a joke, but it frightened everybody, you see. But anyway, music is my life, as you know. And if you're talking about retirement?
Yeah, I mean, are you planning? People say, there are some people who say, "Oh, you should never retire." Warren Buffett, the big investor, would say, if the day you retire, then you essentially ended your own life. But others say, well, I want to spend time, enjoying myself. I've done enough. Do you, at any time, is retirement on your radar screen at 84 years old?
Not a single minute, Michael. Music is my life, as you know, and I don't think I can go on living without music. Every minute of the time, even in bed, I was listening to something or other, or seeing something on
You still get the thrill going to the studio.
That's right, but the studio is my second home.
Who's your audience at that hour? Would it be like people who followed you all?
See, radio is such a fascinating media. It's on the internet now. Mm-hmm. So I have requests, email from people from Brazil, would you believe? Copenhagen, all around the world.
I've heard that you have some thoughts about retiring.
Well, as I said again, music is my life. I will never retire as long as God gives me good health. But come to think of it seriously, if I have to retire, it's got to be a day when RTHK moves out of broadcast drive, Kowloon Tong, to Cheung Kwan O, which I heard about. The day they moved to Cheung Kwan O, that's the day I
Why would you retire then?
Can you imagine my 4-hour show in Cheung Kwan O? I got to drive home from Jungle to Broadcast Drive, I think it's too much.
How do you get to work now?
I still drive the car.
You drive, you're 84 years old, but you must live very close to the studio.
I can walk to the studio quicker than I drive my car, because when I come out of my residence, there's no entry sign, so I got to go around the block.
So you live across the road from the studio virtually.
Across the
so
road.
why do you drive?
Because I have my CDs behind the back of my car, in the booth. So I have different bags of CDs. So
you bring your CDs with you?
Well, every night I bring a different bag, of different CDs, so I wouldn't have the same music every night.
You keep those CDs at home, in your home?
Yeah. At home, I got as you know, I have my own personal library. I have a mini library in the studio as well. So that helps me to...
Well, let's hope that you will never retire and you'll go strong forever and ever and ever. Thank you, Uncle Ray, and thanks for watching Newsline. See you next week. Good evening.